I guess they don't call it the Wild Wild West for no reason, because the things that happen in this country, America, is crazy. What is going on, everybody? It's me, the Elite Ace. We are live action. You already know what it is. Here to bring you this real world topic. And I've wanted to talk about this since it hit the news, but I wanted to wait because, there are going to be additional details. The story was going to evolve, everything like that. So we're going to touch on that, and I'm going to give my thoughts. So let's get things started. So right here, as you can see, this racist white lady, Shilo Hendrix, she was at a park with her child, and she's seen a black child with a disability. I believe he has autism, going into her child's bag and stealing something. And of course, she goes on to call him a racial slur. Let's take a look.
Also new here tonight at 10, the Rochester branch of the NAACP is calling on both the City of Rochester's Attorney's Office and the Olmsted County Attorney's Office to take action against Shilo Hendrix. She is the woman who used racial slurs against a black child said to have a disability in a now since viral video. The NAACP describing Hendrix's actions as, quote, disturbing and racially motivated, before stating Hendrix traumatized, chased, and hurled vicious slurs, their words, at the child at Soldiers Field Park in Rochester last month. Tonight, the NAACP providing news media with a handful of Minnesota criminal statutes, believing they are applicable, they say, and should be considered for prosecution. They include disorderly conduct, child endangerment, and harassment. On May 5th, the Rochester Police Department said its findings on the incident had been submitted to the Rochester City Attorney's Office for review and consideration for a charging decision.
Look at that. That shit is crazy. The fact that she was actually getting support from this. And who is supporting her? Come on, now put two and two together. The white supremacists, the racist white people. I'm pretty sure there was probably other groups of people that were supporting her as well, but not as much as the racist white people. Maybe you have some, because look, anybody can be racist. You got racist Indian people, racist Asian people, racist black people, racist white people. But the majority of her supporters were the racist white people. And again, I'm not saying it was just white people that was supporting her. It was the racist white people, because I know not all white people are racist. Duh, that's common sense. But GoFundMe would not support that type of thing, so she had to do it through I think Send Fund Go. It's like another form of GoFundMe. But as of now, I think she has like over $700,000. Why? Oh, her identity got leaked. Now she's fearing for her safety, fearing for her child's safety. Now she's afraid. She's afraid. See, that's the crazy thing. You call for this freedom of speech, First Amendment, freedom of speech. But don't you understand? Don't you understand there's consequences that come with it? So now who's playing victim? Yeah. So she wanted to be like, hey, this, that. Now she's crying about it. She's crying about it. See, people, they want the freedom of speech, but they want to cry about the consequences. Hey, land of the free. I guess the freedom of consequence, if that makes sense. Because let's be real here. What did you think that was going to happen? And I'm surprised the parent didn't get on her ass right at that moment. Maybe she did once the camera cut off. I don't know. But she was ballsy to do something like that. And the fact that you have that many people supporting her, that says a lot about this country. It really does. It really does. That's why, freaking disconnected Candace Owens and tap dancing ass Officer Tatum. Oh, I'm about to get on them in a second. Yeah, that's why they kill me when they say America isn't a racist country. America isn't a racist country. Bullshit. What about this now? What about this? Now, I get it. Not the whole country is racist. It's a dark history. We all know the history about it. Some of you get your facts wrong, or you say this, you believe this, but you didn't read that, but you read this, and you heard this, and you were taught this. But, yeah, this country, built on racism, basically. There's a lot of racism that happened back then. It still goes on today. Unfortunately, racism is still a thing today. That's why people kill me, say, oh, this happened a long time ago. Oh, this doesn't go on no more. There's different forms of racism. Some say racism has evolved, but the fact that she has that much support with saying that is just diabolical. That is crazy to me. And the comments just prove, it just proved my point even further. The comments on, I didn't even see anything on Twitter about it. when I say I didn't see anything because I didn't go to Twitter about it. On Facebook, I've seen a whole bunch of crazy stuff. Instagram, I've seen some crazy stuff. But the most horrendous, disgusting, evil comments that you would see the most is actually on the post of the GoFundMe type page that she set up. Man, the things I was reading, that was crazy. And here we go with the deflection. This is what I'm hearing now. Well, that guy, he has a SA charge. I don't know if I can say, grape. He has grape charges, or that was against a minor. What was he doing on the playground? So let's look into that. Because there's a lot of deflection with that. So I did some research, and let's see. Before we do that, let's take a look at this gentleman's side of the story.
This is KTTC News.
Thanks for joining us this evening. I'm Olivia Pronzinski in for Brock. KTTC is continuing to follow the latest after a video reportedly shot in a Rochester park went viral last week, involving racial slurs against a child at a park. Rochester police actively looking into the video showing a woman holding a small child making racist slurs in reference to another child at the playground, who she claims had taken something belonging to her child. The person recording the video alludes to the child being targeted as having special needs. Tonight, KTTC's Ryder Blair spoke with the man behind the camera. Ryder.
Olivia, last week at Roy Sutherland Park, Shamarke Omar says he noticed a woman yelling racial slurs at a 5-year-old African-American boy, and he felt it was only right to defend the child, record the incident on his phone, and post it on social media. Now, Omar says he and his children are receiving death threats for what he thought was an act of justice.
If it was my child, I would want somebody else to stand up for him.
On the evening of April 28th, Shamarke Omar says he started recording a now viral video of a woman shouting racial slurs at a 5-year-old special needs boy.
I thought she was going to deny it and walk away. When there was a video and she saw that I was recording, she doubled down and even tripled down now.
With a child of his own on the spectrum, Omar says he felt he was doing what he thought was right.
If nobody else is going to do it, I'm going to have to do it. I don't have to ask permission, or should I do it or not, for anybody.
A woman who has identified herself as Shilo Hendrix has crowdfunded more than $430,000 as of Friday night, with a goal of $1 million to protect her family after she says her personal information was released, asking, quote, "help to assist in protecting my family. I fear that we must relocate," end quote.
I don't know what to say. It's mind-boggling. I don't know. I thought she was going to get punished for this, but apparently not. She's getting rewarded.
Meanwhile, the Rochester branch of the NAACP has showed its support for the child affected by also crowdfunding more than $150,000 in donations by Friday night, with a goal of $250,000. Omar says he and his family have received death threats.
He's been threatened, and the rest of the kids also have a death threat against them.
To the 15,000 supporters who have donated to Hendrix's fundraiser, Omar says this.
Living with hate, it's very stressful. And it shortens your life. Being happy and welcoming is the better way. Change yourselves.
A point that has made the rounds on social media in discussion of this incident that we do want to disclose is in 2022, Omar was charged with 2 sexual assault charges, but both have been dismissed. We have made ongoing efforts to contact Hendrix to report on her side of the story, but we have yet to receive a response. Live in the studio, Ryder Blair, KTTC News.
That was his side of things. So let's actually look up the actual records. It says in 2022, the SA case involving a 16-year-old. Now the charges, Shamarke Bayo Omar, along with Mohammed Hussein Omar, was charged with 3rd-degree criminal sexual conduct, penetration of a minor using coercion. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. And 5th-degree criminal sexual conduct, non-consensual contact, for an alleged incident on January 20th, 2022. The evidence. This is what's important. So, the victim testimony. The 16-year-old runaway girl alleged that Mohammed Omar picked her up at a Rochester quick trip, offered her shelter at his trailer, and raped her after she refused sexual advances. She further claimed that Shamark Omar arrived later and essayed her twice over 2 days. She stated she was held for nearly 24 hours without food, and the man took her shoes to prevent her from escaping. Now, the physical evidence. An SA nurse examination at Children's Minnesota Hospital in Minneapolis revealed the victim was sleep deprived, dehydrated, and had not eaten recently. During a search warrant, law enforcement found the victim's glasses in one of the man's vehicles and a towel she used at the trailer. The victim reported foot pain from wearing ill-fitted rain boots after her shoes were taken. Identification: the victim identified both Omar and Omir in a photo lineup. The outcome: the Alameda County Attorney's Office dismissed all charges against both men in March 2025 in the interest of justice, with no detailed reason provided in court documents. So, what is interesting is how we don't know why it was dismissed. With that essay kit, the essay for the DNA, there was no DNA found under her nails, no fluids, no anything. But you would think with so much forensic science going on, like, what about the fingerprints, anything like that? They claim they found the glasses, they found the victim's glasses in one of the man's vehicles and the towels used at the trailer, all this type of stuff. But right there, for whatever reason, he was found innocent. So it makes you wonder, did he do it? Did he not do it? Now, some of you are going to say, oh, well, it's a lot of people who actually did what they did and they got set scot-free. That doesn't mean they're innocent. Some of you are going to use that argument. But they say he's innocent. So the crazy thing with all of this is how none of the accountability or the shaming or the finger wagging or the slap on her wrist was given to her, by her own people for calling that disabled child a racial slur like that. No one was asking, like, man, how did the mother feel? You know what I was hearing? Bad parenting. Of course, that little was stealing. Yeah, where was the mom? Why wasn't she? Oh, she was probably doing. I've been reading all that, but you know what's crazy? I haven't heard this. Look at Shilo Hendrix saying a racial slur repeatedly while holding her daughter, showing that type of behavior in front of her daughter, because it's learned where and learned when. Yeah, exactly. And let's be real, all of you watching this right now, you've probably did things that you weren't supposed to do as a child. That is true. You've probably seen your nieces and nephews do it. You've probably seen your own child do it. Despite your best efforts of being a parent, you say, don't do this, don't steal, don't talk in class, don't chew, don't talk with your mouth full, look both ways before you cross the street, don't talk to strangers, yada, 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 and they do something anyway. So one could say, he was just, he was being a kid. Someone say, well, he's not, all the way there. He didn't know what he was doing, or maybe he did. He just didn't care. Now, I'm not really justifying, someone stealing. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is they're getting on the mother for that behavior of the child, but they're not getting on, Shilo for saying in front of her child that type of behavior. And now she wants this pity party. Again, you want freedom of speech, that's fine. But just be able to handle the consequences. Because if that was the case, if she was just so nonchalant about it, she wouldn't have been so afraid and worried. Oh, my identity. I'm worried about the safety. Well, maybe you should have thought about that before you called this autistic black child. Maybe you should have thought about that. Like, how stupid do you gotta be? Don't you know how the internet works? Don't you know? And this will not die down. Like I said, like you've seen the clip, she'll possibly get sued. So all that money she got, or she's gonna get, she's gonna get sued. She's gonna have to probably have a payout, or maybe she has to face criminal time. I don't know. Who knows? Or maybe nothing's gonna happen to her. But one day, karma is crazy, whether you believe in karma or not. Her face is known all over the world now. Where she's gonna move or live, who knows? Who knows? And then what about her daughter? Her daughter is gonna grow up knowing this. Her daughter may get her ass. Now you gotta pack up and just go a whole different type of way. You know, you gotta move differently now because your choices, because you were in the moment. You didn't stop to think. You didn't why would you say something like that? Obviously she's racist. And you got all the other people, you know, that's supporting. Of course you got the who's this guy? Yeah, the Matt Moss guy. Who else? Oh, of course, you know, can't forget Nicholas Fantuinez, whatever the hell his name is. You know, that guy, he's just a young buck, 26. Oh man, and then you have the Lily Gaddis. You know, it's crazy how I remember she went viral for saying, and the thing is, she's talking about, oh, we're tired of getting bullied. But again, there's consequences. They don't want that. And for the one saying that, oh, it's just a word, you know, that really kills me when black people say it. But for the one saying it's just a word, let me tell you this. You have to realize that if you feel that way, or if you think that way, don't get mad, don't get irritated, don't get upset, don't feel disrespected if anyone calls you any type of word. Any type of word. I've seen comments like, oh, I just, you know, for the black people saying, oh, I just laugh. I know they're trying to get a rise out of me. I'll just ignore it. Yes, some are trying to get a rise out of you. I've seen a video clip, some Indian girl. Yes, an Indian girl in her driver's seat with the phone, calling a black girl. Yeah, she was trying to get a reaction out of her. I get it. However, how would you feel if you're out with your mother, your father, your grandparents, your child, you know, someone calls them any name. Any name. It's guys out here, y'all ready to fight, somebody call you a bitch. But the same black people talking about, man, it's just a word. But let another grown man press you, get his air in his chest and call you a bitch. Oh, now you ready to fight being called a bitch. But you see what I'm saying? Or like I said, let it slide. Someone disrespect your mother, your girlfriend, your husband, your fiance. And I'm not just talking about racial slurs. I'm talking about just words, period. You know? Some people say context matters. You know, some people say it's about how you use it. Some people say, you know, it's the meaning behind it. So you mean to tell me the word don't matter, it's just how it's used? So what if someone calls you a disrespectful name, but they use it in a good way? You know? You know, like you go on, like someone walks by you and they say, excuse me, but they attach a name onto it. Say if you're a fat person, they say, oh, excuse me, fat fuck, sorry, you know. And they said it nice, they tone one out of tone, but what they said was disrespectful regardless of how they said it. And that reminds me when one of my buddies, white guy, years ago, we were both chefs at the Detroit Seafood Market. And I remember he would sometimes slip in, you know, fuckface. You know, he didn't shout it. He would never cut me off when we were talking and say it. He would say, for example, hey fuckface, how much longer on the fish and chips? Something like that. I'm like, dude, you can call me a lot of things. You can call me by my first name, nickname, alias. You can call me by my YouTube name, call me Slim, Slick, whatever you want to call me. Whatever. But you want to call me fuckface. Okay. So one day, I told him, I said, hey man, you want to keep calling me fuckface with the two F's? How about I give you the two F's and call you fat fuck moving forward? Because he was fat. And I'm telling you right now, my right-handed guy, he didn't call me out of my name ever again. And we're friends now. Sometimes you got to pop out and show me, you know, sometimes you got to text somebody, hey, and they get the picture. But again, man, so that's with the black folks. So with the white folks saying it's just a word, I mean, hey, of course that word wouldn't insult you. Of course you wouldn't feel any kind of way of getting triggered or bothered by that word. Like, so you don't get it. You don't get it, and you never will. You never will. That's something that I've seen a lot happen in comment sections or in real life. You see a black person and a racist white person getting into it. I see another black person say, hey man, don't even waste your time. They'll never get it. They'll never understand. Some will. I'm not talking about some of the racist ones will, but some of the non-racist white people, they actually will. But the racist ones, they just don't get it. I mean, they're racist. Because look, there's people out there, they would die for their kids. They would do anything for their mom, dad, their kids, whatever. I've seen people get into fights just because they called one of their kids a little hellion. Yeah, a little hellion. They was ready to fight over that. Oh, but it's just a word, right? No, they shouldn't. Yeah, it's just a word. It's about right, wrong, respected, and being disrespected. That's what it's about. Like calling somebody's child a racial slur like that. Come on now. And so this Lily Gladys, I call bullshit on how, she says it has no problem saying it. She has said again, she always said. I call bullshit on that. I'm gonna tell you why. You honestly think this racist white lady? And yeah, she said she has no problem being called that. Like, no, that's how she wants to spin it. Well, if that's how you want to look at, no, bitch, that's what you are. So I guarantee you, if she was someplace with a lot of black people, not even a lot of black people, then again, if she felt she was outnumbered, she didn't know how to behave. Or if she felt it was even, and she probably won't cross that line. But let's give an example. She's in a grocery store. She's at Whole Foods. She's at Starbucks. And there's a black person moving real slow on the register. It's like two people in front of her. You honestly think she's going to be on the phone like, yeah, I know. I'm running late, this on the cash register taking all day. You think she's going to say that? She is not going to say that. She's not. That is the thing with these racist people, or in this case, these racist white people. They're cowards. They're fucking cowards. I'm going to tell you why. Because they will say all this racial shit over the internet. They'll say it over PlayStation Network, Xbox Live. They'll say it when they're driving past in a car. They'll say it when there's other white people around or their friends. They'll say it when there's police nearby or cameras. But they'll never say it to another black person face to face outside of that.
Racist people are the biggest cowards. As soon as they get on the internet, oh, monkey, oh, N-word, watermelon, go eat your fried chicken. As soon as they see you in person, hey, what's going on, buddy? They are the biggest punks, yo. The stuff they say on the internet, they would never say to anybody's face. These people, these racists are punks. Y'all are all punks. But it's funny, y'all are actually smart enough to know not to go up to a black person and say racist stuff to their face. You just gotta go online and say it where you're safe and protected in your home, right?
I can tell you right now, me being born and raised in America, obviously, I've never experienced racism to my face. Not like racial slur racism. I probably have, been treated some kind of way or something was probably thought about me, but I couldn't tell. Now, some shit you do be like, I don't know. I can't really prove it, but at the same time, but then if I do, they gonna be like, oh, you're pulling the race card, all this. So it'd be some gray areas, but I'm talking about full blown being called monkey, all that stuff. Never experienced it in person. Guess where I did experience it though? Over Xbox Live. I'm gonna tell you when. This was back during Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 on Xbox 360. Yeah, I know. I took it back, and I believe it was a map. No, I think it was Modern Warfare 3, Modern Warfare 3 or 2, and there was a map that's part of DLC pack where it was a farm, and it was some mode 2v2. Me and my brother was playing. And here we go with America. Me and my brother was playing. We was going up against two other guys. Me as a gamer, obviously, I'm not racist. I'm like, cool, cool. We got a match going because we was in that lobby for a while waiting. I'm ready, got a headset ready. And as soon as, all our mics went on, I was like, all right, y'all, let's do this. This is exactly what I heard. Oh, great. Going up against a... I'm like, God damn. And see, stuff like that. That makes me remember what my father told me when I was little. He told me the three things. He said, one, when you get older, it's hard out there. He said, you're going to see. Basically saying life is no joke. He said, it's hard out there. Two, he also said, nobody cares about you out there. He said, boy, don't nobody care about you out there. Basically saying it's dog eat dog out there. And then the third thing he said, you automatically get one strike just because you black. In other words, saying you're going to get some kind of bullshit thrown at you just because you're black. You're going to get treated some kind of way. You're going to get talked to some kind of way. People are going to think of you some kind of way, or in this case, white people are going to think of you some kind of way just because you're black. Now, I get it. People do be asking me still, what are you mixed with? But that ain't the point. The point is, I didn't even do nothing. I'm just a brother from Detroit wanting to game it up, getting caught in. Now, did I get all heated and mad? No, because that you see that all the time over Xbox Live and PlayStation Network, especially Xbox Live. All these racial slurs, yeah, fuck your mom, yeah, it's chaos. Y'all know how it is. But what was sad, man, Black Ops things 1 or 2, you can make your label, your emblem and everything. I've seen like KKK, racist stuff, Aryan Brotherhood, the swastika. I'm like, God, dog, I'm just trying to play Call of Duty. I gotta look at racist stuff. I'm like, that is messed up. Shit is crazy. And back to racist people being cowards. Oh, don't worry. We still about to touch on Officer Tatum. Yeah, about to touch on Officer Tatum. I get that didn't sound right. What do the youngsters say? No Diddy or pause. But yeah, we're about to cover how he thinks, regarding this incident with Shilo Hendrix. So, with the racist white people who are cowards, it reminded me of this one video I seen. It was this white guy. I seen the video. He goes around exposing governors and whatnot. Now, I'm not saying he's racist. It was a good video. He was covering. It was some black lady. She was like the female Kwame Kilpatrick. He was a dirty mayor here in Detroit. He was just grimy and just he was a dirty type of mayor. So some say one of the worst mayors, if not the worst. Anyway, this black governor, well, she was running for governor. She hired, looked like some regular hood drunk ass dudes to, back her up, support her, promote the campaign and whatnot. And a YouTuber, they were having a conversation. He was trying to ask them, hey, are y'all generally in on this, or did she pay y'all to do this? Like, are y'all legit? They go into a back and forth. And the black guy says, whatever, man. I think he said, shut the hell up talking to me. I'm going to slap the shit out of you. First, I'm thinking, like, see, brother, why you got to resort to violence, man? God dang. Like, don't get me wrong. I can't stand to see my people do dumb stuff or ignorant stuff, or when they immediately got to go to violence over something so small. So, what did the white guy say? Man, you ain't going to do shit. I'm going to tell you this right now. Again, I'm not saying this white guy's racist, but it reminded me of racist white people. Because, why did he say that? Look what was around him. He had a crew, a cameraman, a sound guy. The police was there. It was daylight. It was getting filmed. And it was, and it was just people around. Come on now. You honestly think if the cops wasn't there, and you had nobody else with you, and you was in a predominantly black area, you think you would have told that man, yeah, you ain't gonna do shit. You really? Oh, you didn't have no weapon. That's another thing the racist cowards do. They want to make sure they got a weapon on them, But that's why it's crazy. But again, one more time for disclaimer, I'm not saying he's racist. That moment reminded me of the racist white people. Like, damn, man. So, like, with what she did, Shilo Hendrix, like, God. And you did that in front of your daughter, that's bad parenting. But nobody's calling her out on that. Nobody. Not at all. That just goes to show right there. So, freaking Officer Tatum. Correction. He's not an officer anymore. I'm going to call him Brandon because that's his name. Brandon. But I don't know why. Maybe he just still wants to be an officer so bad. Like, I get it. He makes more money on YouTube than what he did when he was an officer. But damn, man. You're not an officer anymore. So, here we go with Brandon Tatum. Now, Brandon Tatum, some of you are familiar with him, but for the ones who's not, he's a black conservative. And this guy, he comes off as a tap dancer, a yes, a massa, a house, because he reminds me of Uncle Ruckus. He reminds me of the character from Django. And I'm going to tell you why. On his video, his channel, if you go to his channel right now, most of his videos in terms of black people or African Americans or blacks in America, whatever you want to call it, it is damn near negative. All negative. He's just adding just gasoline to the fire. He's fueling the stereotype. If there's anything going on between a white person or a black person or a white cop and a black person, man, he would immediately damn near side with the white person or the white cop. Yeah, he will do his research on everything, but you can see the bias. Now, there are a few times like, hey, I get it. The law is the law. What do they say? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. For example, your tags ain't good and your license is suspended and you got a warrant. They tell you to get out the car, man. Just get out the car. You're not gonna win, man. You're not gonna just get out of the car. Then you end up, it's like something's happening. Now you're in jail, or you end up being dead. When all you have to do is get out the car. That's all you had to do. So that I get that. However, it's times where it be cases and incidents like, come on, brother. Like you know that officer was wrong, or you know this white person was wrong, but he always roots for the white person. I swear, all the time. Even that one video where you all remember that classic video? It was funny, man. It was so funny when the comedy version of it, where that one security officer. It was like a whole bunch of black people and a security guard who was black fighting against the white people. You know, he took his hat off, threw it up in the air. But Officer Tatum, you know, he reacted to that video. Officer Tatum, damn, Brandon. He reacted to that video, and he wanted to play it. He wanted to be fair with it. He was like, man, they were both wrong. Nah. Go back and watch the video from multiple angles. Listen to all the witness testimonies. You see who was in the wrong. You see, the white people in that case were in the wrong. If you know the whole story, why the whole thing popped off, they were in the wrong. But Tatum, you know, Brandon, oh no, they were both wrong. Come on, man. He wouldn't dare say the white people were wrong in that video. You want to know why? Look who most of this audience is. Look what country we live in. This is America. White people make up most of this population. Most of my audience is white. Don't get it twisted. Us YouTubers, we can see the analytics. We can see watch time, data, age, race, this and that, from what country. We can see everything. And that's fine. That is completely fine. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying like, mostly white people watch me. I'm not saying that. I'm saying in terms of Brandon, he's like, man, I made a name for myself. I keep showing nothing but the negativity of these black folks, and some racist white folks watch me. He'd never say that. Some racist white folks watch me. Not all of them are racist, by the way. But he's probably thinking like, some racist white folks watch me. Yeah, they eating this shit up. Views, you know, just word of mouth. People sharing my video. They buying my shirts. You know, yeah, he's getting money from this. So basically, you're showing nothing but the negative side of black people in America. You're monetizing on it. And you're helping support and push this freaking agenda. The so-called agenda that you claim that you're against. Or that, the media this, the news this. Man, you are helping pushing this agenda, brother. That's what you are doing. You know, I remember somebody on my X page, I don't know who it was, but someone told me or tagged me or inboxed me or whatever. They said, you know, I really think you will like this guy. Or I think his views or his mindset. And I looked, the link said Officer Tatum. I'm like, oh no. Now, again, I don't hate the guy. He's just he's a disgrace, man, because I see what you're doing. And other black folks see what you're doing. Matter of fact, shout out to, let me see. Shout out to Roland Martin. He went in, man. He really broke down the issues of Candace Owens and Officer Tatum, you know, in the black community. But he don't want to push nothing positive. You know how much positive stuff I see on my timelines regarding what black people have done or what they are doing in America. He won't touch on that. Why? It won't fit the narrative. That's what he's doing. He loves supporting and pushing the narrative. That shit gets views. It does. And that is so fucked up. Like I said, you're willing to just show the negative side of your own people for the freaking clicks and views. That's scummy, man. That's why you are called a sellout. Tap dance. Because who's eating up the views? I remember this one video. Somebody did a video on him, on Brandon, and it was like, hey, when you say that, the racist white people are like, hey, you said it. I don't gotta say it now. And they're like, look, see, this is confirmation. One of their own even says it, or that they love that. And you think you got all these allies, you know, these white allies. No. If you think that's the case, Mr. America isn't a racist country. Take your ass down to Vidor, Texas, and see what happened. You know, sundown town. They don't give a damn that your black ass puts out a lot of videos shitting on black people. They don't give a damn. See what happened. At the end of the day, man. At the end of the day, you just another to them. At the end of the day. And I'm talking about the racist white people. Matter of fact, where I'm based at in Michigan, whew, man, I just seen a video which was crazy. It's called Face of Hate. That video on YouTube, one of the best videos I've ever seen in my life. One of the heads of the KKK was right here in Michigan. I never knew that shit. I'm like, what the fuck is... Man, and shout out to this journalist, man. This was a span over, I think, 4 to 7 years. He was interviewing, I think the guy's name was Jason. Not the journalist, but the KKK guy. I mean, now he changed his life. He regretted everything. He was remorseful. You know, he showed that you can feel bad about your decisions. He shows that he has a soul, and he's apologetic. He got the swastika covered up with the Punisher skull logo, everything. You know, he felt bad about everything he did, and you know, of course, he still got to pay for it, man. Because when you're part of KKK or the Aryan Brotherhood, whatever, man, you go to leave. They coming after you. He said they either gonna beat you bad or they're gonna try to kill you. You know, but before he made that change, the racist stuff he was saying, the footage, I mean, it was crazy, and it was right here in Michigan. So when Candace Owens and all these other people, freaking Matt Wash and Charlie Kirk and all them saying, "Oh, America isn't a racist country," bullshit. And I know a guy. You probably never see this video. I hope you do. Still friends with him. He's on my list. He's on all my friends list. I used to work with him. This guy literally told me, I think he's Hispanic. He said, "Oh, I used to be a truck driver. And black people, they're the most racist people in this country." I told him, I said, that is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. So out of all the ethnic groups, the races in this country, not like racist people, out of all the groups, black people, we're the most racist. That shit don't even make sense. Maybe from your tiny little anecdotal experience, you know, because from my experience, hey, who do you think I would say? But the difference between me and him, I can show data, statistics, news articles, testimonies, other witness testimonies about, you know, my claim. Your little truck driving job. That compared to the overall true level of racism that's in this country, and you say black people are the most racist, get the fuck out of here. You're crazy. You are crazy. I'm like, that is just that is diabolical. Now, Candace Owens, I really was gonna give her a shot, man, but I was like, nah, I can't anymore. Like, it's time she would say something, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what? I know, did you just say that? And other times she would say stuff like, damn, she actually has a point. But now it's like, nah. I remember that old video. You know, she was on stage with some other white guys, and she was debating these college kids. You know, they come up to the microphone and ask a question. They start a debate. And this one guy brought up the KKK, and Candace Owens and the other white guys were like, "Oh, the KKK, they still exist, or where are they? I don't see them. Do you see? Where are they?" And I was blown away. I was like, she actually thinks the KKK is no longer a thing. That's how you know she just lives in this tunnel vision. Obviously, she's disconnected, you know, from black people in America. She's disconnected, and she's not a dumb woman. as much as you would think that she knows, she didn't know about the KK. Like, I said, yeah, I'm done. They're still around. You can look up YouTube videos. You got these YouTubers, they're going having talks with the KKK. They're interviewing the KKK. I mean, it's the point is racism is still here in America. Even in Vital, Texas, the sundown town, YouTubers have went there and they gave warning, like actual warnings to them, like, ooh, you don't want to be here really, especially after sundown. They're like, why? Come on now. If it wasn't a racist state or city, if it wasn't a racist country, come on. I mean, you can actually look up the data right now. The most racist states in America. Come on now. And I'll never forget the KKK. They were literally, back to the quick KKK story about them being in Michigan. They were actually thinking about opening up a base, like just a meeting base, like a little church or hub in Detroit. Now, at that time, I didn't know they were based in Michigan. I thought they were going to drive from another state to Michigan and do that in Detroit. I'm going to tell you right now, I wanted that to happen so bad. As crazy as that sound, I'm like, wait, you want to come to Detroit? My city where I'm born and raised? Please do. Please do. Because you know what's so funny? The journalist asked him, like, what's the point of all this? Why are you doing this? He said, they're sitting out there with their ARs and their brewskis and their cold ones, and some of them got the long lumberjack beards and the hat. Well, we believe there's going to be a racial holy war, and we just want to be ready. We want to keep America pure. We don't like the biracial couples. Both sides shouldn't like it because you're making your races not pure. We need America all white. This is our country. Yeah, this is our country. Yeah, we want it all white. So we're getting ready. Yeah, there's out there shooting swastika this, Confederate flag that, shooting wasting bullets, shooting at nothing. Some will say, oh, that's not a waste. I mean, they're practicing. The point is, you doing all that shit talking, getting ready, gun ho. Why didn't y'all pull up to Detroit and do that? Why didn't y'all come and try to get that built, huh? But this is what they did. One thing they did do, I will say this. When I first started YouTube, I was staying with my cousin downtown Detroit in Cadillac Square Apartments. Real nice place. And I remember at some point I moved out and my cousin told me, he said, man, some racist people came up in there putting flyers up on doors and putting it up under the doors and spraying Aryan Brotherhood and KKK on the walls. I'm like, what? Like, I'm thinking like that you have to be playing. Obviously, I knew he wasn't playing, but yeah. And this is the crazy thing. So to get in that building, there's two doors. First door, second door. Then there's the lobby. Right here to the right, there's the desk lady, and there's the desk person. And behind the desk person, there's the main door to get to the elevator. That's locked. She has to buzz you in, he or she. But before she buzz you in, you have to tell who you're here for. You have to sign in, and you have to show ID, and you have to write your name down. Sign in. Oh, and then they actually call the individual to say, the Elite Ace is here to see you. Then you get buzzed in. All them levels of security. So it makes you wonder, damn, how did they get in? Or maybe one of them was actually living in the building. And they call one of their brothers to come down there. And it's like, yeah, we're going to initiate it. Putting flyers up under the door. I think the flyer said, join us and no colors allowed, especially, no this and that, we're here for the white cause, white power, all that bullshit. And they sprayed. This is real shit. I'm feeling this is one of my favorite real world type of videos that I'm doing. Because it's bringing the truth and the reality to the fact that racism is still a thing in America. And for fucking what? So my cousin told me, one of his neighbors said, oh, I'm moving. And I'm thinking like, I wouldn't have moved. And my cousin, he didn't move. Eventually he moved, but that wasn't the reason. I said, that's what they wanted. Like, yup, get them out of here. Get them out. Or, yeah, hopefully everyone in here, or mostly everyone in here is white people and we can get them to join us. It's like, well, news flash, man. Not all white people are racist. Not all white people are racist. I just cannot stand racism, man. I don't care who it's coming from. Even when I see my own acting racist, I'm like for what? It's just negative, it's nasty, it's showing a bad character, it's hateful, it's evil. Me, obviously, I'm not racist. I'm going to tell you this. One of my childhood friends, white guy, named Brandon. Man, I'll never forget. His mom and him came over our house, and I remember behind me, his mom was sitting in the dining room chair talking to my mom. They were in the dining room, and me and him, we were on a porch playing Hot Wheels. Right there. That's a damn commercial right there. You see this little black boy, me, and this little white boy. We play with Hot Wheels. This is all we care about. I didn't ask him, oh, why is your nose like that? Why is your hair like that? He didn't ask me why my nose was how I was or why my skin. We didn't care. Over time, now he lived across the street. Over time we grew up, my brother was cool with him too. We ended up playing Super Metroid, Donkey Kong, Final Fantasy 3 on Super Nintendo, which I think is Final Fantasy 6. I think I'm getting it wrong. Final Fantasy 3 in America is really Final Fantasy 6 or 5. You know what I'm saying? Me, him, my dad, and my brother, we all went to Belle Isle. It's like a island park. Some of you heard of Belle Isle. We were riding the bikes. We had the Huffies and the Buffy bikes, everything. He would come over. We would climb trees. We didn't give a damn. We would go fishing. I didn't care that he was white. I didn't care. My favorite Bleach YouTuber, Teching 101. He's white. I'm cool with his mom. His mom is white. What else? One of my homeboys, who I used to work with, he's white. We went to the gun range, like with the disc flying, pull, and it was cool. Matter of fact, he invited me to his house twice. I met his wife before. Then his brother, I got invited to his birthday party celebration. It was only 2 black people there, but we all got along. And then when it comes to those snow bunnies, hey, my dick don't discriminate. I don't give a damn what color she is. If she look good, she can get it. Let's see. Penny, she was white. Jessica, she was white. Brittany, she was white. Who else? Emily, that was another one. Chelsea, that was another. It's like, I don't care. I mean, Isabella, she freestyled on the mic, and I'll never forget what she told me. This is more proof right here. See, this is real shit about this racism shit. She told me that her father said, I would rather you be a lesbian than you ending up with a nigger. And then Brittany, she told me, she's like, yeah, my father, he doesn't want me, he doesn't want me having anything to do with a black guy. I'm like, what the And not all black people are perfect. Actually, not all white people are perfect. HBU, nobody is perfect. So even if you want to go off these so-called stereotypes, because I know you got the racist bullshit excuses. Well, they don't want their daughters to end up to be a single mom. Guess what? I don't know white girls I named. A few of them were, guess what? Single moms. And guess who the kid's father? Guess the color were? White. So any dude can be a deadbeat dad. It's like, stop it. And don't pull the some more than others. Man, how do you know? It's like that they always like to do that tit for tat. They try to do that racial counter thing all the time because they act like black people are the only ones that do this when in actuality it's not the case. Then you bring it up for their people. It's like, well, it's no. Stop it. So right there, that's crazy. And that's messed up. If you have a daughter, if you're not black and you have a daughter and you're teaching that type of hate to them, chances are sometimes they may not agree, or they may feel like that's fucked up, or why, or they may look at you, they may think like, well, newsflash, dad, my thoughts, feelings, and emotion and my gaze comes from the fact that I'm a woman. So if this black guy looks attractive, damn what you're talking about. If he treats me good, damn what you're talking about. If he got a good head on his shoulder, damn what you're talking about. And the more you withhold your child from something, it's going to make them more curious, or it's going to make them rebel. Or when they actually get around the very thing that you were keeping them from, they're going to be like, damn, this isn't like what my dad or my mom taught me. Oh, I like this. I'm going to tell you right now, you know how many times I have been told. I've also been told this from women who weren't just white, but Albanian as well. multiple times. Now, some black people, they will take offense to this. They'll say, like, this is what they say to me. You're different from most black guys, or you don't come off as a typical black guy. See, that's a compliment and an insult at the same time. I remember the legendary compliment I got on my YouTube video. Somebody was like, wow, you're from Detroit? You don't come off as if you're from Detroit. And it's like, like, wait a minute, what do you mean by that? But the thing is, it's like, damn, that's an insult and a compliment at the same time. Because the reason why it's an insult, you're putting all of us in one bag. That's the problem about racist ass people. You're so narrow-minded, you're so small-minded, you think everyone acts the same. Not all black people dress the same, talk the same, think the same, walk the same, eat the same, smell the same. You know, me, I take pride in the fact that I like to be different, period. Now, don't get me wrong, yeah, I'm for peace and humanity. I'm also for my people. Don't get it twisted, but I'm my own man, you know? I don't want the same, tats as someone else. I don't want to dress the same way. I don't want to have these burst fade hairstyles like everybody. I don't want to do. I just want to be me, my style, my own way. Yes, I know slang and ebonics, but this is time and a place for that. Not everything I have to say has to be ebonics. Well, though, you feel me? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be watching a lot of these vloggers, man, that be out in Japan or Thailand or China or whatnot, talking to these locals with ebonics and slang, and it makes the conversation awkward, kind of cringy. You just want to face palm, like you can't. Like, they don't know the slang like that. You're talking to these locals, saying "y'all mean for sure," you feel me? Type shit. But it's like, come on, man, it's another one of those trend words. Give another year, another 2 or 3 years, especially 5. Nobody's gonna be saying that anymore. Nobody. So. Yeah. All right, now let's do a deep dive into what Tatum had to say about Shilo Hendrix calling this black kid a racial slur.
White mother calls black child racial slur, now seeking donations. Pull Becky up here. Now, let's talk about the microcosm here. The reason that this woman, and you'll see after I play the video, the reason that this woman, let me start with this, because people going to get mad at me for starting there. I'm going to start here and I'm going to go back there.
Yeah, now you see where he wanted to really start. You see that, but this is going to show he does get pushed back. But no, don't clean it up now. Do not clean it up now. You already show where you wanted to start. You automatically want to put the blame on the black folks. But let's finish.
First of all, it is absolutely abhorrent for an adult to call a kid a name anyway. I don't care what name you call a kid. You so silly that you're going to call a kid a name. A little bitty kid. 8-year-old, 10-year-old maybe. And you grown calling a kid a name. I don't care what name you call him. You so upset you call a kid a derogatory name. You silly. You can't be serious. You can't be serious. Now, with that being said, and I do not support her calling this kid any name, especially not the name that you're going to find out that she called him, a little black kid. And you know where this is going. But I do see, and I would never support this GoFundMe either. That's silly.
And I like how he just glazed past the whole fact that so many people, white people, racist white people, are supporting this. He didn't touch on that. He got a video up talking about America isn't a racist country. And he's always rooting for the racist white folks, man, or for the white folks, period. He's rooting for them the most. But he didn't say nothing about them supporting her cause about this, because that is crazy.
But what I do see, and that most people ain't gonna tell you, is that white folks are sick of black people. Black people have cried wolf so many times that now they just sick of it. And therefore, a person like this that do what you see her do can raise this much money. It's almost like an indictment. It's like y'all cry wolf every day, every time somebody say the word, and y'all call each other the word every day, and then y'all trying to get this woman fired or whatever they doing for her. And look at they raise money for her.
For one, I find it funny that him as a black man in America can speak for so many white people or a white person at all. But it is crazy to me how this black man in America, how can you not? This is how I know. So he has to be bullshitting. He has to be bullshitting to push this narrative or to just please his fans. Because how do you not understand, again, as a black man in America? Yes, we do say it to each other. I've came across a few black people that's like, you know what? don't call me that, or I don't say it. I may say it, along with songs, but I don't address another black person with it. But for the majority, black people call each other that name. Not everyone. But for you to sit up here and say, oh, well, black people say it to each other all the time, but they get mad when they say it. If you need a fucking explanation as to why, if you need a history lesson or a current lesson as to why that is the case, this has to be an act. This has to be an act. Or, well, see, there's a difference between being educated and intelligent. Maybe he's very educated, but clearly the brother is not intelligent. He's not. That is asinine for you to even say that, wonder that, and think that. Do you not know the history behind the word? Damn near really well. It means black, so it is. No. Do you not know the history? This is how you know Officer Brandon Tatum. He's just on some other shit, man. Just a straight up Uncle Ruckus.
All right, roll the clip.
You call him a child?
The fuck you talking
Did you
about?
call the child?
Business.
It is my business. You call him? Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again?
Fuck you, sir.
Okay. All right, that's what you say.
You don't go digging through people's shit, you dumb fuck.
Nobody digging to you.
A little kid just did, you dumb.
A little kid, you call him? The little child?
What if he acts like one, he's gonna.
Are you about to hit him? You chasing him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child, 5-year-old, N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act.
That's what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know, that's a hate speech. And you can be recorded for that.
I don't give a shit.
Huh. Okay, we'll see about that, what the internet has to say about you.
So, keep it on the screen. So, this is what I want to say about this. White people feel, I'm not saying every white person, y'all. Every time I say white people, black people, clearly, y'all, I'm not talking about every person. I'm giving a generic stance on it. I think white people feel like her. This little kid is stealing. I'm sick of these kids that don't have good parenting and they stealing stuff and doing this and they acting like ends. And if I feel like they acting like ends, I should be able to say it. Just like if a black person feel like they acting like an end, he should be able to say it.
Notice he didn't say, oh, she was racist for saying that. Notice he didn't say she was a bad parent for saying that. He goes on to give a justification, speaking in general for white people. That's why I find it funny. You as a black man want to speak for white people. Like, this, Brandon, you are off your fucking rocker, man. You are. Let me tell you something. So, you think the white people feel that way in general, they live amongst a whole bunch of black people. They're tired of having their things being stolen from black people, even if they see it a lot on the news. We know what the news likes to portray, even down to little details. When it's black people acting up, listen to what they call them. Listen to how they frame them. When it's white people doing the same thing, they use words like individuals, locals. That they say stuff like that. But whatever. So I remember when I was at the dollar store one time, and in front of me, I was putting my things on the conveyor belt to pay for my stuff. This lady in front of me, a white lady, she was with her daughter, and I knew it was her daughter because she said, "Mommy, I want these." It was a pack of Skittles, and the mom said, "No, you have candy at home." She goes on to have a little temper tantrum, a little fit. "Oh, but I want it. She said, "No, you have candy at home. Put it back. We're not getting that." I'm like, okay, nothing wrong with that. Fine. Hell, I've been there, as a little kid. So what did the little white girl do? She walks over to where the Skittles were. She turns around. She looks at me. I just look away. And I look back because I hear her up there. And she puts the Skittles behind her back. So right there, she was stealing. So, what? What if the employee caught the little white girl stealing? Is that grounds to call her a name? Maybe a thief. But let's just take that out of it. Is that grounds to call her a name? What if he was to call her, the little white girl, a racial slur for stealing? Now, I know some of the people in the comments might say, well, but Little white girls are known for stealing. Black people are known for stealing. You know, that's the kind of bullshit comments you see all the time. And what if I was thinking, that's that bad parenting? Like I said earlier in the beginning of this video, you can do your best to raise your child. You don't know who you're raising, but sometimes kids are going to do what they want to do. That little girl, she knew stealing was wrong, but she didn't care. She didn't care. Now, again, I'm not justifying the behavior of this child. Some are saying, like, you know, the black kid in the video, some are saying, like, okay, he really didn't know. He really didn't know. You know, he's autistic, you know, but even still, it's like, you're going to just be like, oh, acting like an N. It's the parents' fault. But did I think that same thing with this lady? Nah. And it's so funny again, Brandon, he's just trying to justify and make excuses and try to speak up for the general white people in America.
And so all this virtue signaling around a word that black people just blow out of proportion, I'm over it. F off, put me on the internet. And that's what I think this woman had done. I do not think it makes sense for somebody to call a kid any name. But the N-word has, to me, it has lost its luster. It has zero power. For some reason, if you want to be a victim, it now activates to having power.
See, I like how he says to him. Because that, to him, that word has lost its power. Why? Since when? Why? But again, so let a white person call you, or with the ER. Let them call you that. I guarantee you, you will not take it the same way as if they call you any other word. Like a sir, gentleman. You're not going to take it as a compliment. You're not going to take it as a positive. Do not believe what this man is saying with that, especially as a black man in America. Let anybody else, especially a white person, call him the N-word with a hard R. You think about, it lost its power. He's going to feel something. He's going to feel disrespected or like, man, audacity. I can't believe that. I'm not saying he'll spaz out. I'm not saying he'll, go to threaten a white person, but I mean, maybe he will. I mean, there have been cases where he's spazzed out and threatened another black person. Yeah, the very thing he talks about, he's a hypocrite, man. The very thing he talks about blacks in America, here he is, showing out, doing the same thing. Let's take a look.
I gotta go. They're quick to run and grab that talking point of Biden and Hillary Clinton, created the
I'm gone,
crime
man.
bill. They created
you
the crime bill.
fakest I ever seen in my life.
They created the crime bill.
I see you in person.
They created the crime bill.
What you said.
They created.
I'm done, bro. You a fake. I appreciate it. Fake, bro. I'm gonna expose you to everybody. When I see you, it's gonna be on. I want you to know that. Because you call me on the phone and you saying all this, and then you get on the live stream and you playing this shit. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Is that black on black crime? Is that black on black crime?
You's a bitch. I told you. Everybody on your live stream know you's a bitch. And when I see you, I'm whooping your ass. Everybody got your live stream. I like it. You want to be hood? You want to be hood? You on the phone talking shit to me, and you call me and say you apologize? Yeah.
I never apologize.
You apologize?
I never
apologize.
apologize.
You didn't apologize. My wife listened to you.
Never apologize. What I said was.
Let's wrap this up.
Hey, proof is in the pudding. Let's see what else you got to say.
And that's why I would never feel sorry for, or there's no justification for a black person responding to the N-word no different than they respond to any other word. And it's even worse when black people get mad about the N-word. When I saw this and the lady called a kid an N, her calling him an N is irrelevant to me.
Him saying that's irrelevant to him, that's a damn shame. Look, for the people who's watching this, who don't know who he is, this is why I say what I say. This is who he is. This is who he is. Unless he's just putting on just an act. I don't think it's an act, but he's serving massa good. He's serving massa good. He's just disconnected, man. He's just lost. Him, Candace Owens, that's crazy how he say, as a black man in America, having someone call a black child that racial slur, especially from a racist white woman, and for him to say, oh, that's irrelevant. I bet he'd act more pissed off if she was just to call him like a little mischief maker. Or you little thief, you little rascal. Get out of here. He'd be more pissed about that. Oh, but she called that little child a racial slur. It's irrelevant. This guy, he has issues.
What's relevant is that the fact that she called a kid a name in the first place. The fact that she may have said something derogatory towards a kid in the first place is the problem. Now, I don't know where that kid parents at, because she doing all this and nobody came forward to claim this kid.
Now, I did mention that earlier. Where was the parent? Now, I don't know if the parent was in the bathroom or whatnot, but clearly the parent was nowhere to be seen or found, because I'm pretty sure the parent would have reacted to that. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. So, yeah, I was wondering the same thing. Where was the parent?
I don't know if that lady down the road is babysitting the kid. I don't know what's actually happening here. But what I will say is that y'all can't get mad at that word no more.
We can't get mad at that word anymore. All right, let's go. Let's just watch it.
Because every hip hop song, they saying N. I put my life on it. Every single time that black people are talking, generally speaking, if you listen to them for 10 minutes, the N word is going to come up in that sentence, in that conversation. They cuss each other out with the N word. They cuss white people out with the N word. They cuss their dogs out with the N word. They call each other the N word. They call each other the N word when it's your friend, when it's your enemy, when you go into prison, when you're falling in love. They just N. Let a white person, now Samoan people can say it, Mexican people can say it, Arabian people, anybody brown can say the N-word. Black people ain't hurt about that. They can say it friendly or derogatory, but generally speaking, they get a pass.
Once again, us saying it and them saying it, completely different. You should already know the difference between the A and the ER. This is common thing. I'm about to say it now. It's simple niggonomics. How can you not know this? How can you not know this? And it's interesting, finally, as a black man, you're trying to speak for black people in general. But in general, you say, Samoans can say it. People of color, brown people can say it. Look here, no. I know some black people. They're like, no. Only I can say it, and another black person can say it to me. I know black people that's like, hey, I don't care if another group says it, just don't call me that. I know. I've actually heard that before. So I heard somebody, I don't care if it's a lyric. I don't care. You're not saying it to me. I know what the lyric means. So while you saying it in a song, I'm not offended by it, because you're not calling me that in a bad way, and you're not hitting it with the ER. So that right there, he should know that, man. And he does know that. That's why he's playing these fucking games to make himself look good from the eyes of the white people who mostly watch his channel, and that way get the bigger fan base, the money monetization. And I'm gonna say it again, I'm gonna stand on this. That's why he is considered a seller. I remember he was on a podcast with the Hodge twins. They kind of went that tap dancing route too, but he said this with Candace Owens and the Hodge twins. Brandon was like, white people never call me, tap dancer and sell out. Why would they? That wouldn't make sense for them to say that. They love seeing someone like exposing the negative side of black people. When I say they're racist white people. They love it. But again, you're not, don't get it twisted. You're, at the end of the day, like I said before early in this video, you're still just another, because it reminds me of that one movie. I forget the name of the movie. It had Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, some other guy in it. I forget his name, but I remember in that one scene, the black guy, he was sitting on a porch with this white guy he knew. He was an older white guy. I think he knew him since he was a child, and he was talking with him, and they looked like they really got along. They really did get along. I think this was like in the 60s or 70s, and I think the white man's wife or daughter needed help moving a dresser. And the black guy, he got it. He said, no, I got it. And what did the white guy say? Oh, no, come on. You aren't allowed in my house. You see? He sat there. He talked with him. I think they even had lemonade. I only seen the movie one time, but right there. So yeah, it's probably genuinely he probably got some white people that fuck with him, but yeah, he just needs a wake up call. Or maybe he did get a wake up call and he's still feeling, nope, I resonate with the whites. I don't resonate with the blacks in America. Nope. Or blacks, period. You know, that's just, man, again, like I said on this channel, all he puts is just nothing but negativity about black people. But since he wants to speak on since he can't differentiate the reasons and the difference between why we said and white people can't say it in the ER and the A. Hey, let's take a look at what Young Don has to say about it.
I love the point that was made earlier in the video about the fact that you don't call your parents by their first name, or your parents or you may go by one name in one context, but it would feel inappropriate if people outside of that context started trying to call you that. Also, the fact that women call each other bitches all the time. Gay people call each other the F word all the time. And black people call each other nigga all the time. And so this idea that, oh, if you get to say it, we all should get to say it. We don't all get to call your girlfriend baby or sweetheart or love or anything like that, right? There is a special relationship or shared experience, rather, amongst black people, why this term is acceptable when used by black people, where the same is not true for people of other races, especially white people. And the truth is, a lot of black people, especially young black people, aren't even aware of that. They understand the rule, they understand the norm, that it's not in good taste for other people outside of the black race to say this word. And the further away you go from being a person of color, let's use that term even though I don't love it, but you know, a brown person, the closer you get to paleness and Caucasianness, the more inappropriate it becomes. So a dark-skinned Mexican might get away with it, you know what I'm saying, more than a Chinese person. But definitely the person who's never supposed to say it is someone of European descent. And of course, that all has to do with the history. And what is that history? Well, it's the fact that this word was used to describe people who were seen as inferior. The very nature of using the word nigger, historically, was to say that you are less than. You are inferior to white people, you're inferior to all kinds of people. That's what that word meant. It was not used lovingly, it was never used. It was always a derogatory word. It was invented to disrespect you and say that you are less than because you're black. And so that word, through whatever societal or social things that occurred, it got transformed into the word nigga, that is used as a term of not necessarily endearment, because it's not always said with love per se, but it's used amongst black people. You know, you've probably heard the argument or the idea that the word was reclaimed. And so to put it simply, when a black person uses that word and calls another black person a nigga, what they're simultaneously doing is acknowledging that they have a shared experience of being the descendants of a vicious past. That is, of course, the enslavement of their African ancestors. And as a result of being the descendants of those people, they are subjected to a life that is filled with obstacles that other people won't have to face because of their history. Right? I'm not saying that there aren't poor white people, but because of the history of being the descendants of slave, you're statistically going to be born into a lower educated family. into a lower income family, into into a family that has less wealth that has been passed down throughout the generations, things like real estate and money and assets that get passed down when one person dies to their offspring. Statistically, if you're black, born in America, you are going to have less of that available to you than if you're white. Why? Because white people have been essentially running it up unrestricted since the 1600s. Black people were not given freedom from slavery until the 1800s. And then even after that, they were subjected to racist laws. And so their ability to amass wealth and pass it down to the next generation was incredibly handicapped and didn't begin until fairly recently, as when compared to whites who have ancestors that go back in this country. So by being born black, you have more than likely issues or obstacles that you have to face that you simply don't, even if you are an immigrant, even if you're a Mexican. There's so much that comes along with it, not even mentioning the fact that racism is still a real thing and prejudice and all these things are still a real thing. So it's almost as if when I talk to you as another black person and I'm good, what's good, my nigga? I am, regardless of whatever the topic of conversation is, I am acknowledging our shared struggle as a result of our history as a people. It's almost like even if you're angry at another black person and it's like, fuck you, nigga. It's like I'm still on a level, even though in modern times this isn't happening consciously, but on a level, I am acknowledging our shared struggle, even in the midst of us having a disagreement with one another. And then I believe the reason why black people call other people nigga, you will notice that black people use that term in a relaxed, casual manner. You'll call a white person, a Mexican person, whatever, Asian person. Oh, look at this nigga over here. And the dude is a white dude over there. I believe that when black people use that term like that, of course, they're not acknowledging that you have that same history and shared struggle with the white person, but you're also acknowledging that when we use that term, we don't mean it as a way of saying presently black people, other black people are less than. See, when we use that term, we are not encoding within it inferiority, acknowledging that you're inferior. When I call another black person a nigga, I'm not calling you inferior. Like when a white person called a black person a nigger, that's the whole point of the term. And so that's why as a black person, we will call a white guy, a Mexican guy, an Asian guy, a nigga. It's not giving you permission. It's actually us saying, hey, this is not about inferiority. You're no better than my black friend over there that I'll call a nigga. But so why then are people of other races not supposed to say that term? Well, because you don't share that history. You don't share that struggle. You aren't the descendants of people who are classified as niggers. And of course, as time has gone on and we have gone some distance from the history that created all of this, that which I just articulated, which I believe was easily understood and recognized by people of older generations, even people who weren't black, even if they couldn't articulate it in the way I just did on a subconscious level, they understood this, as that we've gone past that, we get some distance from that. Now it's in the music and all of these things. More and more, people don't get that. People don't understand that. But that's the reality. And I think if you were a white person, a Mexican person, whatever, you would very easily understand that. And most do. Most don't use that term just because they understand that it's not socially acceptable. But especially if you understand the history of it all. Black people are the only people living in America whose ancestors were brought here against their will. Think about that. Black people are the only people here in America that were the victims of hundreds of years of having no rights. Zero rights. And so that very unique experience has led to very unique circumstances as to why we see black people not making as much money as other people, for instance. All of that history has compounded and has had a domino effect. And so when you get that, when you recognize that the black struggle isn't about being poor, you don't get to say the word nigga just because you grew up poor. You don't get to say the word nigga just because your father was arrested for committing crimes because he was born poor and low education and in the ghetto and that, was a victim of his environment and blah, blah, blah. Just because you have a similar backstory to your black friend and even grew up in the same neighborhood, you still aren't the result of slavery, the transatlantic slave trade. That's what it all comes down to, man.
Bam, right there. Couldn't have said it better myself, man. He broke that down very well. I didn't want to just straight use his talking points and straight jack him, so I was like, no, let me just put the clip in there. But yeah, shout out to him for making those good points.
Let a white person rap to a song, and it's racism. Can't even rap the song. Can't even rap the song that you pay for. Can't even rap the song that you pay for from an audience that most people that look like you support. Y'all can go to the concert. Y'all can buy the tickets. Y'all can support with the merch. Y'all can go on tour. You can buy VIP tickets. You can make the person a platinum artist. You can do all that, but you better not sing his song publicly. Mexicans can do it. White, black can do it. You name it. But white folks, white folks who are the majority hip hop supporters, who give the most money to hip hop artists, the only reason hip hop artists are rich right now is because of white people all over the world. And y'all say they can't say the word.
White people make up most of the American population. And again, so he's saying, so I spend the money, so I should be able to say the racial slur. Now there's a mixed bag. Again, there's a mixed bag of black people who stand on this. You got some, they don't care if they sing the lyric. They don't care. I think, what was it, Kendrick Lamar? The white girl, he put her up on stage and she said it. He didn't kick her off the stage. He did let her know, like, whoa. Now, some black people, they didn't care. They didn't care. Hell, you got some interracial couples, some black guys, they want, the white girl to say, hey, give me that nigger, give me that, yeah. They want that racial talk in the bedroom. They want to play, runaway slave and a slave master's, wife or something. It's crazy. So there's a mixed bag. So yes, that is a thing. Some black people, they like, hey, I don't even want to hear a white person say that word. We already touched on why, like Young Don said, it seems like the further away you get from being white, how it seems acceptable. Me personally, I get why your ears, a black person's ears, will perk up more, that eyebrow will raise up more, that neck will turn more. When a white person says, you're like, whoa, what? Especially if you call me that. Just listen to how it sounds. Brandon Tatum talking about it has some more power. Can you imagine a white person saying, oh, excuse me, do you know where it's gonna go left? It's gonna go left. It may not always go to violence, but it's going to be a reaction. That black person is not going to say, oh yeah, just go down there, make a left, and you can't miss it. Actually, you're going to see a McDonald's across the street. That's the landmark. You'll see it. It's not going to go like that. It is not going to go like that. That word will always be offensive along with every other racial slurs. I mean, it's just disrespectful. It is. There's no need to say it. But, yeah, again, yeah. I mean, this is what it is.
This is why that girl had a GoFundMe that was insane. A give, send, go, because she would have got banned on GoFundMe. What's the link to the comments? No, don't worry about it.
Damn, now you see that? Look at that. He didn't want to show the comment sections of the gifts and go. What did I say early on in this video? I seen the comment sections. It was so much hate and nastiness and racism going on. But anytime there's some racist white people, he doesn't want to shine the light on that. He only wants to shine light on the negativity of black people.
It's totally fine. The guy had reported, I just want to clear this up. The guy had reported that it was a 5-year-old. That wasn't a 5-year-old. That kid looked a lot bigger than a 5-year-old. But I just wanted to clear it up because I don't think that kid was 5. But I will say that some of y'all need to make sure your kids acting right and quit raising these thugs to do stuff. Now, I don't know if that kid was a thug. I don't know if he did what she said he did. More than likely, he did do what she said he did. They don't make him a thug. But y'all do need to raise your kids with some type of wherewithal and respect for authority and not have your kids stealing stuff. And they'll never be called an N-word by nobody.
Oh, but that don't make him a thug. But what he did made him a nigga. Okay, I see how it is. You see what I'm saying? This is exactly how Brandon Tatum is. And again, notice he didn't give no type of pushback towards the lady. None at all. In terms of the fact that she was saying that in front of her daughter. He talking about y'all need to start raising y'all kids like this. You need to stop. Look what she's doing in front of her daughter. It all starts at home or it starts at a young age. I mean, damn, like... Yeah, the little kid shouldn't have been stealing. But does that make it okay for her to call him? And then at that, according to the guy filming, chasing after the child. That's how you know the parent couldn't have been there. Could not have been there at all, excuse me. But yeah, that's Brandon Tatum for you, man. He will, if there's a situation where there's black and white, he's going towards the white side. More often than not. Again, if you don't believe me, man, go to this man's channel. You will see so much, anything got something to do with black people, African American, Africans, anything. He do these over exaggerated, face expressions in the thumbnails when it's anything that has something negative to do about black people in America. It's like, that's why I'm not the only one who feels this way. It's videos on him that blow minds out the water in terms of, I won't necessarily say exposing him, but showing what he really does and the fact that he doesn't care. Man, as a content creator, you know what gets clicks. You know what gets views. You know it. In America, making negative videos about black people, shit is going to get ate up. And he's making a living off of that. Tap dance and sell out. So, with that being said, yeah, that's all I have to say about that. So I will have the links to all these videos down below in the description if you want to watch the whole thing. Real quick before I end this video, I remember when Trump became president, on this group, this anime group, the admin, maybe he was trying to be funny, maybe he was just trying to stir the pot. He was like, yeah, so America, how we're doing. Now me, I always wanted to move to Japan. So I said, well, I'm moving to Japan. That's one of my little ha-ha jokes. I put the airplane emoji. What did this white guy say? Amongst other ones. Good. Get out of here. But just know you're not wanted over there just how you're not wanted here. What the First off, I doubt he would have said that to me in person. Second, the internet makes people so comfortable with just talking reckless, because before social media, the internet, in modern times at least, it was rarely this type of buffoonery. And right there, that was just more racism. Like, what do you mean I'm not wanted here? What if the Native Americans said, no, you're not wanted here? And then you're speaking for all Japanese people, like, get out of here. Like, get out of here. And I can flood this video with a compilation of white people doing dumb shit in Japan as well. So, but whatever. That's my take on it. Yes, she was wrong. The battle isn't over. Yeah, legal things are taking place. We're going to see. This isn't the last we heard about this. So give me your thoughts, comments, and concerns. Oh, and one more thing. Obviously, some of you watching this are coming across this. Yeah, you're probably fans of Candace Owens, the Charlie guy, Matt Wilson, Brandon Tatum. That's fine. If you are racist, look, just unsubscribe. Don't even watch it. I don't want no subscribers or viewers that are racist. I don't want your support. I don't want your views. I don't care. And I'm not trying to sound ungrateful, but a lot of content creators say this right here. You don't like it, unsubscribe, leave. because guess what? You will be replaced like that. I remember one time I lost 6 subscribers. A couple days later, I look up, bam, I got 41 new ones. Get replaced. I may get some new subscribers because of this. I already know I'm going to lose subscribers because of this video, but that's good. Sometimes you got to put out the video to do the detox. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here. And I'm probably going to see some racist comments. Now, keep in mind, this is my channel. I'm in full control. I can block you. I can bump your comment up, down. I can erase it, make it visible, whatever. I can do whatever. So, part of me was like, I don't want that negativity in my comment section, but maybe I will leave it up just to prove my point of how racism is still a thing in America. So, with that being said, it's me, the Elite Ace. Thank you all for watching. I know this was a long one, but hey, when it comes to real world topics, I got to go in. Signing out.